Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to episode 125 of A Naughty Mess Knitting Podcast. It is December 25th. I decided to film on Christmas because it's nap time and we had a lot of fun Christmas stuff, but now everybody dispersed in the house when Theo went up for nap time, and I was like, you know what? I'll take an hour and I'll film now. Talk to my friends over here on the YouTube. So hopefully I'll get this posted on the 26th, maybe the 25th if I keep it short. Depends on what's going on the rest of today. But I have a new FO, a really old something that I'm wearing to just give a little chat through. It's something that I always get so many compliments on, and some progress on projects. And a book snake. I think that's it. I do actually want to also go through my Solstice Advent thing from EKF too. So that'll be the yarn I share, because that is an acquisition I got several weeks ago before opening began, and I decided to not show you guys week by week, but I'll show you everything now. And I think most of them have been posted on Allie's Instagram, but I'll give you guys like a little warning before I do it, just in case you still want it to be a surprise. Okay. Even though this is everything should be opened if you bought the box. All right, for anyone who's new here, that's what we're going to talk about, but my name is Megan, and I am a mostly knitter, sometimes crocheter, and other crafter. I spin yarn, etc. And I am based out of the Pacific Northwest, where I live with my husband Mike, our daughter Theo, our dog Winter, and my mom Cindy. And right now, Mike's parents also and their dog Zoe, so it's a big full house here. And it's been nice. It's been great for the holidays to have everybody together and not have to worry about as much travel between places. But yeah, okay, let's go through it. I first want to talk about what I'm wearing, which is called the Arbour, spelled in the Canadian and or like British English fashion. So this is from a Canadian designer, Molly Conrad, who is White Owl Crochet Co. This is one of my first test knits that I did for sweaters. I did a lot of testing for hats and accessories. That was like how I I figured out what test knitting was, and then I did some socks, and then I did some sweaters. So I finished this sweater in November of 2022. So pretty old. I mean, it's 3+, so it's just younger than my child. And yes, for anyone who doesn't know, that sounds crazy, but also we didn't meet Theo till she was 3 weeks old. So I finished this, then I found out about her, and then we brought her home several weeks after that. So I was just, blissfully finishing things back in the day. She still lets me finish so many projects, and she like even wanted to knit with me this week, which was great. She sits on my lap and holds the needles and really hinders me, but it's hilarious and it's very cute. Okay, sorry, let's go forward. So this is a size 5, and I have no other information about it. I don't know what the measurements were because I didn't do that, or at least I didn't write them in Ravelry. But I think it was pretty much 2 size. It is made with Berroco Vintage, and I think this color is called like dark cherry or black cherry or something like that. And it's like, I think this is the worsted weight of Vintage. Has a DK and a worsted weight. Anyway, this is like an acrylic wool blend. Let me look at the breakdown. It is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon. And this was like one of the first sweater quantities I ever bought. And I was like, oh, and wanted to like just have something, because I was still not sure, like at the early stages of making sweaters, like would I wear them a lot, or was it kind of a novelty thing to make? That is silly. Now I only wear sweaters. People at work are always like, what? Everything you wear is handmade? And I was like, yes, I have a lot of sweaters and t-shirts, and so almost never show up to a meeting without something I've made on, which is fun. And every time I leave the house, pretty much now, that's also what I wear. So I pulled this one out for our cookie swap last 2 weeks ago, and I just was like, oh yeah, I love this one. It's so cozy. So there was a picture up here before, right? So you can see it on me, but that was also several years ago on me, but like still, you can see it. It's got really big balloon sleeves. They really truly, go to the end. I think you don't do any decreases in the lace, but it is all over. I don't know. I know most lace designs have a name. I don't know what this one is, but to me it looks like almost like a little leaf right on here. So and I think it's funny because like you can't see there, you see it a little bit more. You can see the stitch definition live, and I think like the leaves look a little more leafy in person. But anyway, this one I really enjoyed making. I want to say though, as a note, I think I might have said this last time I wore it, I only knit size inclusive things for myself. This one is so close to being size inclusive, so I'm gonna almost give it to her, but like it is the suggested ease is 5.5 inches and the largest size is 64. So if you're saying 60 inches is the minimum, then it should be 65.5. I think with the lace, they would have just needed to be one more in the repeat. I think most of Molly's patterns are actually size inclusive, so I don't, you know, I'm not really sure. This was a little bit before I was aware of some of that stuff. But I still would possibly knit this one again because I really like it. But this one is a pretty oversized. This is 54.5. I think I mean, maybe I must be a little bit off gauge. It's really big and loose. The lace just opened really nicely. I would really consider making another because I had a great time making this, or maybe just a thought for myself, like I would make another all over lace like this. But I do think like the raglan looks really nice in this. I like having the lace on the sleeves, and because it's like a worsted weight, it feels quite warm enough to wear even like in the winter. I get a little bit of breeze, but there's just a lot of fabric, so I never feel that cold. But I do really like this color. I don't love this yarn, but this yarn of an acrylic mix does not feel super crunchy. I think if you're looking for a budget yarn, and you don't mind having some acrylic in your yarn, I think this is actually like a really like a nice one to use. It's a little bit shiny, but like it's kind of nice in this pattern, but it was not as like squeaky as like 100% acrylic to use. Like I remember, I mean, at that time I was using more acrylic, but I was like, oh yeah, this is like pretty nice. So just things for you to note if you want to about the Arbour. Okay, so let's go on to my first and only finished object this week, which is a pair of socks. I think you guys didn't see these at all. It's funny, we saw our nieces and nephews last night. I'll go through what we did, but like we decided not to do gifts with them. We're gonna see them. There was like, it was the big family thing, and so we decided to do gifts later after Christmas. So I actually had more time to finish these, but I wanted them done before Christmas. I just wanted them done anyway, so I knit these in about 2 days. I'll tell you why it was so truncated also later. We'll talk about like life things, but these are done, and I did a modified, slightly modified pattern of the Colorblocked rib socks from the Summerly book sock project. So I did like the recipe for it. I just didn't do the color blocking. So everything else is the same. And that pattern, like you'll see the picture up here, really is like color blocked because like there's a cuff and then just the toe, but the middle of the sock is, and she has like, you can put stripes in, like you could do all of those are more, well, the Summerly sock project book has probably like maybe 20 like actual sock things. Like I did the Soma socks. There's like a really cute pair that look like pencils, which I think are so cute. There is like a number 2 pencil. There are like a couple other like lace or cabled ones that are actual patterns, but then there's a bunch of the beginning of the book that are talking about different heel recipes, and then a couple of sections that are just like ideas and like recipes to make whatever kind of sock you want, which is why I think it's like I think it's a great sock resource. They are almost all top down though. So if you are a toe up kind of sock person, may not be the book for you, just let you know that that's her preferred method, and more of the ones that are written patterns are heel flap and gusset. So that's what this is. So I did a cuff down and I did a German twisted cast on. I did a size medium, which is like a women's 7 whatever, and like a guy's 5 or whatever. And so my nephew is in the like weird world. He's 11 and he's got big feet, and he's like in the weird world of like not really in dude sizes yet, but he's like at the very top end of youth or whatever, which that's like a, you know, to find the right size. His mom was like, he fits in my shoes, so just make him that size. And I said, okay, can do. And I made them like a little bit like just like the quarter length crew kind of thing where they're not tall. So that's one thing I modified. I just didn't do as long of a cuff. I think I did like 4 1/4 inches. And then it's just like a regular like slipped stitch heel. And I actually really like this, like the shape and the sizing of all of this like heel flap and gusset. I thought that was like pretty good. And then I knit it to be about 9 inches long. And I did it so that there's not as much negative ease. I usually put in about a 1/2 inch or a little bit more of negative ease lengthwise because I think that fits your foot better. But I like my sock to be a little tighter rather than just like the size of my foot. Because his feet are growing, I figured I'd give him like an extra month or two just by giving him a tiny bit more length. And then his mom was like, that's okay, I'll just inherit them afterwards. And I said, that sounds fun for you. So she'll get 2 pairs of socks eventually. But he did pick this color out. This color is called Journey to the Past. It is by, Teeny Button Studio. I got a couple of like random skeins. It was like three a pack of them. But this was the variegated, and it's this really pretty, actually I got a blue and a purple that would go with this, but I didn't have anything I really wanted to use them together. So I used this as one of the sock skeins that was a choice for the family to pick. And this one is their soft sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards for 100 grams. Okay, so overall, good. Good pattern. It was a really basic rib sock, so sorry, you can't really even see on top, but here is the top of it. It's just a 2x2 rib, just not on the sides or the bottom. They went really fast and I enjoyed them. Okay, so that's the last of the socks. So I made 11 gift knit socks this year, and then 3 pairs for myself, I think it was 14 total, because I had my last 2 months. I did a sock a month every month this year, late on 2, I think. So that wasn't so bad. And then the last 2 months I did 2 pairs because I did for the kids, even though these are adult size. And I should have thought of that for Dax and just, taken one of my pairs out, but I had fun making all of those this year. I did take a picture, so I'll put a picture up here of all of them laying out. Just the gift ones, not mine. So my 3 I also completed, but these are all my gift pairs done. And I gifted to Mike's younger brother, who we saw just at our house yesterday. And so his partner and his daughter, so they all have their socks. My in-laws, they have theirs. My mom has hers. So I just have the last 5. That's still a lot of people. But everybody's fits. And so I feel really good about that. Like, that's so exciting. The first 5 people that tried them on, they all fit them. They like them. They were wearing them. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Let's go on to knot socks. What I will interlude here, the spoiler for you on the cast-ons and whips, I did not cast on my socks because I finished those socks at 2:30 p.m. yesterday, and we were leaving our house at 3 to see everybody, and then I didn't give them to him anyway, so I could have cast these on with friends, but we did get on a call and I got to chat with everybody, and we all held up our yarn at one point, and we all have really beautiful, I think this year our socks may look a little bit more like each other's, like a little bit more similar than last year, because we did several different kinds of striping last year. Like I did a chain ply, and Ariel did a 3-ply, but did sort of longer color stripes too. So I think we may have more matchy socks this year, but we still haven't taken a picture of everybody in last year's socks, in the socks. So if we all finish these early-ish in the year, maybe when we get together, and the next time we can get together with Maya, we can actually all have all of our socks. I don't think I will finish these this year, even if I do cast them on, but I will cast them on. I did wind the yarn yesterday and did the yardage, and I have, I need to weigh it, but I have just about 4 ounces here, and it is 475 yards. So it's quite a lot. I still think that's probably closer to a 400 or so for 100 grams, but I'll do some maths when I actually, because I'm not sure, if the braid was overweight. I don't think I weighed the braid before, and I did not. I actually have some of the braid left, so I don't know what the actual weight of this is, but we'll see. And I'll cast those on. And we are all doing, though, actually, so we will have more matchy socks, because we are all doing a DRK everyday sock, except for Maya, who's doing a 2x2 ribbed cuff down because she has a DK weight. So it'll be fun to see everybody's together. We'll have stripy ribbed socks. Okay, so And that'll be the first time I do a DRK every day for myself. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And I still think regardless, I will probably cast them on today and work on them a little bit this evening. But I have some fun project progress otherwise. So, not the biggest, maybe the biggest surprise this week is going to be my Mila. I am done everything but half of the button band. I got through the rest of the body this week, and then I did the ribbing, and I was pretty nervous. I was nervous until maybe about halfway through the button band. Like, then I weighed this the other night. And I'll be fine. I'll have probably about 10 grams left. So I could have probably done like 2 more rows, but like, that's a game I didn't want to play. I didn't want to really play Yarn Chicken. I was not going to go rip out a button band and reknit it, especially with this Earthy DK, because it's like, it's pilly, and like if you rip out to rework, it's very much like starting to have a lot of floof come out. So I will be fine. I will have a little bit extra, and that is quite all right here. So let me hold it up though. So here we are. I'm just past halfway. I'm at like the top of the back. I just passed the top of the back, like just barely. So yeah, past halfway, but not by a lot. But I did all of this in like one night and a little. So I will be able to do the other side for sure before the end of the year. And there's no buttonholes because this is a snap button thing, which I do need to go get some snap buttons. Maybe on Friday I'll go out of the house and do that. But that's about it. It will be a little bit cropped per pattern. I really just went to the pattern measurements. I think I'll be able to, like, you know, when I block it, give myself like a half an inch more. A half inch will be okay. But that's like the style of this jacket, and it's written that way. Like, you can just add length, but also I would need to add yardage for that. And I should have just gotten one extra skein, but you know, it is what it is. This is where we are. So I need to weave ends in, and I need to finish that button band, and that is it. So sorry for anyone who's not aware of what this is. This is Mila Cardigan by Sari Nordland. It is a reversible cardigan where you do have, you know, I was thinking about this, and I'm going to be really careful about sewing in ends so that on either side it's not like super apparent where they are. But this has like a really fun, I don't know what kind of cable, like this kind of like wavy cable thing. There is no crossing in the middle, so it's the cable line just like does this all the way down, and then on this side, which I think that this, to me, like, if you look at Sari's picture, I don't think the pattern looks like this, but I think you need it to be like opened a little bit, because I feel like the cables on this side look less cute than her version somehow. And I think it's mostly just blocking. I think when it blocks, yeah, like that is a little bit cuter. I don't know. It's just in my head, maybe. To me, it just looks like these 2 little V's in the pattern, where I think her picture doesn't really look like as zigzaggy. And I think part of it is just like it being blocked out. You can see the like little diamonds in the middle, and that's what gives it more of the cable visual that she has. So we'll see how it does blocking. And this is Earthy DK, like I said, by Explore Knits and Fibers in the colorway Squim, which is a town here in Washington from the Seattle collection. Squim is like a lavender capital. Like, there's just like a big lavender fields there. And so this to me always reminds me like a little bit of the lavender, like the early bloom lavender, and like also like the sound is right there, and there's like, it's a little gray over there sometimes, but it is a blue hole, which means that there is less rain in that place in particular in Western Washington than in the rest of Western Washington, because we are quite rainy here. So here we are. Anyway, very excited about finishing this, and I felt really amazed. Again, you know, I was playing a little bit of Yarn Chicken, and I was like, oh, I'm nervous, which means I got to knit on it and knit. So I wanted to finish it, but then the sock had to be done. And if I didn't have to do the sock and I had just known that we were getting together later, I probably would have paused on the sock and done that. But, you know, it's fine. And oh, sorry, for sizing, I am doing a size 5, yeah, which is a 49¼ inch bust. Recommended ease is 4¼ to 6 inches, and I'm just under that for the ease. Like, just mine will be a slightly looser, though I do think I'm a little off gauge, so I think it'll block out to be maybe even a tiny bit bigger than that, like maybe like 51 or so inches. We'll see. I'm not gonna stretch it. I want to stretch it. I want to block it out so that the pattern looks nice, like the stitches look nice. I don't really care about dimensions, but we'll see how it works out. So I'm really gonna hope to, what's today? Today's Thursday. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to wash that by Friday night. That's my goal. I did use 4mm needles for everything except the cuff. Ribbing is 3.5 and I am doing a 3.5. I actually decided to just do a 3.5 for the button band. And let's like look at it really quick. I was a little nervous that it was gonna be a little too tight. I think Sari's flares down, which is not cute. And I did to like here, and it's hard to tell until it's like done as it pulling in, but I really think that like I laid it flat and I don't think it's puckering, I don't think it's pulling, and I don't think it also looks like it's bubbling, like it's too big. So I think that we are on the right size here, which is a 3.5. So I did go down 2 sizes of needles. And then let's go to the Kal Cardigan. So this is a pattern by Claire Jackson, who is perfectly knotted. It is a top-down cardigan also, with a half brioche collar, which I hadn't done like half brioche maybe ever for anything. It's a lot like a half fisherman's rib. You're just doing that brioche stitch every, you do it every other stitch. So it's kind of like doing a purl thing, like, or doing like a ribbed thing, except for it's brioche. And then that means that like your one of your stitches is just being knit and purled every row, and the other one is being treated like a brioche stitch, which is kind of fun and interesting. It makes it really like quite a stretchy and nice like ribbed collar, but it also, I think what it does is like it allows your stitch size, so you're just using one needle throughout, not be as different as I think if it was just brioche. That might tend to flare a little too much because brioche does like stretch quite a lot. So I think also when I block this, I'm just going to be really aware that the bottom's like dry and I don't let the stitches like stretch out as much as maybe they would want to stretch out, because brioche always wants to grow. And then you also have a half brioche shoulder line here. And so that also means that you do double increases. So there is only one increase line instead of like 2 raglan lines, because you're doing double the increases, and it'll sit on flat across my shoulders, and you have knit, you know, a front bit, a back bit, and then you knit more of the front panel and the back panel before you join under the sleeves. So if you were here for that, that's how the construction, as a reminder, worked. If you're new, then that's what I did to grow this thing. And then I did pick up sleeves, and I was a little nervous because I had seen some pictures and some notes where people thought that the sleeves were too small. And I don't really think that would have happened for me, even if I just picked up the right number of stitches. In fact, I think I'm like, maybe have picked up too many, but you know, it's fine. I think blocking this, I'll just block the sleeve line just a tiny bit to make sure that it's not puckering. And then I was, oh gosh, I might have taken the marker off. Yeah, I don't think I have one on here. But I have done, I think I was maybe like just after the second buttonhole. So I did to the third buttonhole yesterday. That is done, and which actually means my body is done now. I just go on to hem. So I will also probably finish this. I actually think the next row is my setup for ribbing, and then I do 10 rows of ribbing and that's it. And then a sewn bind off. So more knitting has to be done for sure on my Mila, but not by a ton, because doing a hem like ribbing is a lot, and this will take me a couple hours still. So this is what I have left. So 2 cardigans will be done for sure next week. I'm really excited about that. The size for that one, as a reminder, is also a size, so this one is a size 4, but this is 50 inches. The recommended ease is 20 to 30% positive of you, like more than your full bust. For me, that's 9 inches, let's say at the lower end, but I am making a size 50 inches. My bust is 45. That gives me only like 10%-ish, right? So I'm just doing less than, but that's what I know. A 50-inch bust cardigan I will wear a ton, and I will like that size on me. So that's what I decided to do. So also you could just make what size you want. We're making our own clothes here, people. You don't have to listen to people's instructions at all. But if you like the style of something, and like me, you want to follow a pattern, still pick the size that you want. You'll have to use the ease, they say. I'm using a 5mm needles for the body. I think I'll go down to a 4.5. Actually, no, I think she says you can do a 5mm for the ribbing at the hem so that it's a little bit more open. And I think that's because your brioche is going to be open. And I actually think that's what I might do, because I did not go down a needle size for the cuffs, and I like how open and like that. Here, let me show you. I like how open that like ribbing looks. So it is obviously bigger than my knit stitches, but it's not flaring a lot. And so I think that's what I'll probably do. So then when I go to block it, I won't actually need to stretch open the ribbing more. It'll look a little like denser ribbing, which I think will be nice for this. Can always change my mind as I start going, but I think that's what I'll do. And that is Backloop Yarn Co. Basic worsted in the color Tia Beanies, and she's not dyeing anymore, but it's like a yellowy cream with blue and teal, and a little bit of like, there's some orange in there. There's like rusty like orange that just pops, just like not a lot, but some pops of it. And then that is Drops Kid Silk Mohair in navy blue. So that's that. I don't have any updates on Nana the Duck or the Creativity Shawl, which I don't know that I don't think I'll finish the Creativity Shawl this month. We'll see, but I kind of want to cast things on more than I want to finish that, but I do need to finish that. That's a test knit for Toriu. But I do really want to finish Nurtured, and I did not pick that one up this week. It's stayed in my office. Now, let's go through books, and then let's talk about the week. Okay, so I read 3 Christmas books and then a romantasy. It was a pretty good book week, but I did not weave in ends yet, so I didn't stuff, but I just did this on the couch today because it's Christmas and we've had a lot of stuff going on. But this one here is called When Ivy Met Mr. Holiday, and this is like probably like an Audible exclusive. Anyway, it was on Audible Plus catalog, and I'm in my last month of having Audible. That was gifted to me, and so I decided to listen to a holiday one on there. This is kind of like the pink from the books, and it's not quite as much green or bluey as I want it to have, like this kind of tealy color as the background pops, but it's there. This book is it's a friends to lovers book, but it's also like he's a celebrity. And so he's a celebrity, and before he really hit it big, he's a movie star. He lives in Austin. He was going to a salon to get his hair done and had a bad dye job, and she was like, she's the person who's going to take over the salon, and did his color correction, and that is like their meet cute, but also like she'd seen him before, but she was like not interested in getting to know him. She thought he was just going to be like a snob or something. Anyway, the whole point is that he said that men and women can never be friends sometime in the chair when they were first meeting. And she said, sure they can. And they made a bet and then decided to be friends to test it out. And of course, he fell first and has had a thing for her the whole time. And she is just catching up. It was interesting because I thought like some of it's pretty cheesy, but like it was like just some stuff was like so dumb. Okay, so this was also like a fake dating thing. He said something to an ex-girlfriend that they were together, and then she had to go with it, and then they did holidays with her family and they were pretending there, but obviously he had already fallen for her, and she was catching up. But he is a celebrity, so there was some things, but like they've been friends for a long time, but she hasn't really gone with him to any kind of public stuff. And even though they are seen out in public, sometimes there was never anything romantic, and like because he had always been like serial dating, that was never like, she was never like part of the news for him. I find this a little bit less believable. If you're seen with the same woman, even in a friend context for a lot of years, I think people would have speculated, but she's just a normal person, so I guess nobody cared. But yeah, anyway, so that's what that one is about. The next one is My Favorite Holidate, which is a book by Lauren Blakely, which I have not read a Lauren Blakely book in a long time. And that's like her red dress and the blue background. And this one is about also fake dating. Well, fake dating in the holidays, I think it's just like a thing because like there are circumstances where you either, I think it's just like getting together with family. You know, this one also had this was like a wedding. There's a holiday wedding for the girl's sister and she didn't want to show up dateless. And her scummy boyfriend is also going to be, ex-boyfriend was going to be in the wedding party. And so she also extra didn't want to show up dateless. And the best man didn't want to be set up with somebody for the wedding. So he, and he's a billionaire, obviously. And so he decides to fake date, or they decide to fake date. And really that's their biggest indiscretion, is that they're fake dating, and they obviously also fall in love. But it's actually pretty cute, and she does a lot of like bad boy romances. That's like what I read from her for like 10 plus years ago. So I hadn't read one in a long time, and I liked it. It was like some fun banter, some good side characters. It was a Hallmark movie with spice, you know. That's what we're out this holiday season. Now this one, our next one, this one's called Bullets and Mistletoe by CJ Lucci, was another one from Ginger and Spice that they told me to read. I do what they say. That is a wide shoes, purely smut that happens in the winter. Okay. It is about 3 like made mafia men. So like they're not good guys looking for somebody in this really small town on a fake island called Caliste, but whatever, you know. And that's where they live though. And anyway, long lost love was in a place where they all got snowed in, of one of the guys. And then she's like, oh, actually, I'm attracted to all of them. And they were like, oh, us too. And you're like, okay, we're snowed in, whatever. But then obviously they decide to all just be together. So there is that. Very, very much just spice set in a snowed in, happens to be over Christmas. That's it. That's the whole scenario. And it's a pretty short one. I think it's like a novella. So it's only like 118 pages. So if you need just like a good kick of some spice this holiday season, it's a great one. Go for it. It was fun enough. The characters didn't have like any kind of depth whatsoever, but I had fun reading it, and I was recovering, so I'll tell you why. But I wasn't feeling great, and so that was just what I needed. Now this one here was what I read as I was starting to feel better this week, and that is Direbound. This is the first book of the Wolves of Ruin by Sable Sorensen. It came out this year. I've seen a lot about it on Book Talk. It made it to the list, but people were like, no, you really have to read this one. I'm a little skeptical of some of the things I read on Book Talk, so I still get lots of suggestions from there, but when it's something that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of times I don't enjoy those, like One Dark Window. There's some other examples, but I loved Quicksilver, for example. So they can't, I mean, they're not all, you can't just write them all off or anything like that. I really enjoyed this one, actually. So this one, no shifters. This is it's interesting. This was a cross between like Hunger Games-ish. Like there's trials, although not like that, I guess. It's just like trials, army school, or like military school, and being bonded to direwolves. And the direwolves in this are like, they say like, think bigger than a horse, like humongous things they gotta like climb onto, right? So very close to a dragon, but they're wolves. And there's like telepathic connections with wolves, all that kind of stuff. So our main character, Marin, is not interested in bonding with a wolf, but due to extenuating circumstances, like everybody's supposed to be conscripted in the army. She had like an exception for a while and then decides to enlist. Happens to enlist when there's a Direbound trial, which is a surprise. There's nobody ever knows when it's happening. There's a first thing to try to get to the direwolves. They can choose to bond or not. She just wants to not bond. But it happens. And so you go with her through the trials. They're really brutal. There's a lot of like political things happening also. They live in and around the castle, so you get some of these things. There's some like mistaken identities or like false identity things happening. And anyway, it's all about Marin figuring out like what is going on through a couple of different mysteries in her little country. And she's got a saucy direwolf, and there are a lot of broody characters. I liked the side characters. She ends up like making friends with some twins that are like really there for her and like her first friends ever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I do think there were some parts where I was like, duh, girl, you got save yourself. Get out of this situation. But of course she, I mean, and there's understandable things why she does some of the things that she does. But I mostly liked her. I think she's not written as like a total dummy. She's just like not even sheltered. She's just out of her depth for a lot of what's happening. And she's in a place like on purpose. These dire wolves tend to be bonded to families of people who are, just people who can train to do it. And so she just doesn't know a lot of things, which is how we also learn all those things. So I liked it. And the second one is supposed to come out in May, I think. So I've got a while to wait. But I definitely think I'll continue reading this series, and hopefully the second one stands up. So that's it. Direbound. Here. Okay, now why I kept saying, like, let's talk about the week. Last week I filmed on Thursday, and I published on my birthday, or Thursday night. And I was very excited to have a nice birthday. It started out great. Mike and I went to breakfast. Theo went to school, and she went down for a nap. We were hanging out. I did watch the first Harry Potter, which is a little bit of a tradition on my birthday. And normally I watch them through the week of going up to Christmas, and then we do Lord of the Rings after. Well, we watched the first one, and then we got Theo out from her nap, and then I was hanging out with her in her room for a little. She was on my lap, and she like really slept hard, and so I did actually wake her up from her nap. And then she puked all over me. So I'll go into no other details other than all of us got a stomach bug. She had no fever or anything, so like that happened. I was like, okay, this is probably just a stomach bug, which is actually what the doctors thought her first thing was. And they told us, they were like, it's everywhere. It's going around. Like, just, stay home if you get it. This, like that was their caution for us on the Thanksgiving sickness that we had, which was not actually a stomach bug. And very quickly, the rest of us caught it. Mike's dad had left on Friday morning and his mom to go back to their house for the weekend, but they also caught it. So the transference happened on like Thursday sometime or Wednesday night. We did not know she was sick, and everything seemed fine until it just comes out of nowhere. We were all really sick. So she was already feeling a little bit better Saturday, just really tired and a little dehydrated, not really interested in food. Mike and I were still pretty sick through Saturday. I was like, I was in rough shape until like Sunday morning. And then finally able to like eat a little bit. And it's just like, I feel like you need like a week to recover after that, because like my stomach just like, I didn't want to eat a lot of food. I was doing a lot of like the brat diet, right? Just bananas and toast and applesauce for several days. The 23rd was when I was like, oh, I can kind of eat normal food. And Christmas Eve with Mike's family, like we went and had tacos. We did a taco bar, and I definitely like ate a little bit, but like I still am just like not eating as much quantity, which is not a bad thing probably, but like yeah, it was like I had like tiny bites of dessert, which is my favorite part of Christmas, and I was just like I can't even eat all this, but feeling much better. Like I just, I think like you have those kind of bugs, and like sometimes it really hits you that it's like, it messes with your sleep schedule, because we were exhausted for like 2.5 days, like all of Saturday, all of Sunday, and then like a little bit Monday still. I've already been off for the week, but Mike had to take Monday off because he was still like, I gotta nap. I gotta like, and my mom did not like leave her room at all the entire weekend. She just laid in bed. And so she was like, I feel a lot better. Like I really truly rested the whole weekend. So she took Theo for a little bit in the morning, and Mike and I, like, I think I took another nap, but then I had so many like chores for the weekend. I was supposed to get done and I did not get done. So I spent all of Monday just doing chores. And then Tuesday trying to knit this sock and into Wednesday. And everybody's back at our house and we're all, you know, doing stuff. And so it was a bummer. We were going to do Santa photos and then go out to a nice dinner on my birthday. And so that did not happen. And really, maybe we'll do it this coming week, as like a go back, but we did get her Santa photo. We just waited, 'cause like, we really didn't want to leave the house again, like for 3 or 4 days after everybody was feeling better. Mike's parents had to go, still to the hospital for treatment, but they were feeling better too on Monday. But we like decided just like to contain our bubble as much as possible, and also because nobody really felt like leaving the house, so we just, you know, stayed home. But on Christmas Eve, yesterday on Christmas Eve, we did go to a little Santa photo place near our house. This is the 3rd year we've done it for her, so now we have her pictures, and I like lined them all up yesterday after we got the one. They print it right there. I was like, oh, it is really sweet to have these. Gosh, it's a racket, but also it is a sweet thing to have, and I feel lucky we have like one close by that doesn't ever have a super long line. I will say I must be a little bit out of it still, because we got all the way there, which is only 10 minutes from our house, but you have a set appointment time. I certainly left her shoes at home. Normally we put her shoes on before we leave the house, but sometimes when we're just like doing a short car ride, she'll just mess with them and stuff in the car, so you just have to put them back on. So I was like, oh, I'll grab the shoes, grabbed the diaper bag and everything, and just no shoes. So luckily this place has a Ross next to it, and I ran upstairs, and they almost never have shoes in her size, but they have these really cute little like moccasins with like fuzzy inside, like a Sherpa lined shoe. I was like, look, she doesn't have anything like this that are easy slip-ons that we can just like, which is great because sometimes we're just going to other people's houses and we just like need shoes to go on really quick. Most of our friends are like shoe-free houses also, so then you're just taking them off, right? But now she has some slip-ons. But yeah, so it was a rough couple of days. But I will say all of I put myself to bed really early on Friday because I was like feeling not so great, and then it hit me as soon as I tried to lay down. But I barely knit on Friday because we were doing stuff. I knit during her nap, and then not really else. I sat down trying to knit a little bit at night, but I had kind of a headache, and that's when I was like not feeling great. Did not knit Saturday, not a stitch on Sunday until like 9 p.m. She was asleep. I did a couple of like things, picked up a couple of things around the house, was finally feeling slightly human, but like just the idea of sitting up at any point on Saturday and most of Sunday, I couldn't. I was just horizontal. And I didn't even I couldn't make my hands and my brain do anything. Like my brain was just not there. So I knit like a little tiny bit. I think I did like 2 rows of the Mila on Sunday. And then finally, that was like Monday night. That's what I worked on, was the Mila. And yeah, it was rough. It was sad because I was like really hoping to get more knitting done. I still think I did a lot of stuff this week, but whew, it was brutal. I have not been that sick in a really long time, and I did not enjoy it. It was not a birthday present I wished to have. So we'll have a birthday redo. It's like when I was a kid, because for a little bit of my life, my mother was still trying to do birthday parties and other things for us around our birthdays. My brother is the 5th of January. I'm the 19th of December. We have right around the holiday birthdays, and I grew up in Pennsylvania where it snows. And we had several blizzards hit around our birthdays that we started celebrating our birthdays in April. I'm not going to wait that long this time, but I was like, it's all right if we just do a January birthday night out or whatever for me when we're all feeling better. And we were going to take Theo with us though too. So we'll see, but yeah, it was a bit of a bummer. I was talking to our knit night, because when we got together yesterday, virtually, they were like, oh no, and I was like, this is like part of what we signed up for with preschool. It's what happens when kids go into kindergarten too. It's like it's a petri dish of the kids and all the germs and other things. And we try to keep it contained to our house as much as possible, but like there's nothing you can do. Like a lot of these things like stomach bugs, they just go around because most people don't have any symptoms until you've already spread it to everybody you know. And so here we are. But I am really like hoping that having this couple of years of preschool before school means that we're not just gonna be taken out for like all of kindergarten, the beginning of kindergarten. So, you know, fingers crossed there. But yeah, so we have a little more holiday stuff to do with Mike's family to get together with some of them. And that's like really exciting. But I did not get as much knitting time in. And so these days off I'll have going for a knit night. There's only one other gal, Jess, who from my knit group, who's free this week. And so I am going to go with her somewhere or to her house and knit a little bit, which will be nice to just get some like out of my house time. I mean, we did that last night. It was really lovely to see all of our family. But yeah, I'm like definitely hoping that a little over the weekend and next week I can get some concentrated time in pre-New Year's to get some of these bigger projects done. Hoping the cardigans will be done this weekend, and then the nurtured, I have a lot to do, so it's gonna have to be the focus project. And I am so excited that if I get these done on like the 30th, like it's possible. It's possible I could get the nurture done by then. If I like concentrate for like 3 days, if I get these done this weekend, I'm really going to just cast on so many things. So we went over those last week, but I'm really excited. So let me go through my solstice box then before I sign off today. And this is from Explore Knits and Fibers. So like I said, if you don't want to know them, because I don't think all of them are posted on Instagram yet, but if you got the box, you do open them by solstice, which happened last weekend. So this is not really a surprise, or shouldn't be for anybody who has the box, but telling you now, if you want to skip ahead to the very end, I'll put one last chapter up as my goodbye. But here is what we have. I am going to show you not the pairs that came together. I'll show you that in a second. I'm just going to show you the colors, and this is not in order, okay? I'm going to preface that because I don't really remember the order, but I'll give you the name, and this is all Rocky's DK. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's 100% superwash merino. It is a DK weight, but it's like a lighter DK, so it's 274 yards for 100 grams. We have 8 different colors from the full box. Now, this is a box I won. They gave out 3 solstice boxes, and you could pick anything you wanted, but it was just a single box. So there was the option to do full tonals, just variegated, the full set, a half set, which I thought was maybe like 2 tonals, 2 variegateds. I'm not really sure. And then, and you could do that in, I don't know how many box options they have. They do Rocky's DK. They do Denali sock. I think maybe they do cash sock also. And I don't know if Surrey is an option. So like, I'm not sure, you know, which options there are. Definitely Denali sock and Rocky's DK, because I've gotten those 2 before. But I usually the last year and then the year before that without me, some people in my knitting group had gotten the box and then done trades if they want to together. So like I think it was Ariel, Sylvan, and Katie the year before me, and then last year it was all 4 of us, and then this year no Ariel, just me, Katie, and Sylvan got this. And so, but this year we decided let's do Rockies instead of Denali sock, just try something different and also less yardage. But still lots of projects we could do. So okay, that was a lot to preface. Here's what we got. I'm gonna start here with I'm gonna just start what's in my hand. This is Chrysalis. This is like a gorgeous Kelly green. I'm really into this color actually. This is Ephemeral. I'm gonna do all the tonals first. That's a really, really pretty color as well. This is Metamorphosis. Reminds me a lot of like Butterfly Pea Flower, except for I think this is a little bit more purple. And then Emergence, which is this really fun orange. Okay, I'll hold all 4 of those up real quick. This is a fun set, everybody. I will say, I said this like before I even showed you any of these like a couple weeks ago, that we had opened this already. We opened it all at once. And Katie, Sylvan, and I were like, we think we're going to keep all of ours. Actually, we didn't do any trades, and I don't think we're going to. So, okay. Then we've got Fractal Garden. This might actually have been the first one that got released, just thinking about Allie's Instagram. Okay. And then we have Unburdened Flight, which is such a pretty like grapey purple. Chaos Bloom. And Butterfly Effect, which is the name of the Solstice box this year. I'm going to assume this was like our last one or second to last one that we were supposed to open. Let me just pull those strands over. And then there is, the only thing I paid for was the day box. And so they are separate. So you couldn't like just say, I want all of the Rockies. No. So I paid for this one. These to me feel very different. They feel like they are their own vibe, which I actually kind of like, that the day box stands alone. And then it makes my options make a little bit, like a little easier for me on project planning. So we think, but I'll tell you my project plans in a second. So, the tonal is Transcendence. And this is, I think like this maybe looks more true to color. Like this is a little bit lighter, a little bit more like apricot-y than like this. It makes it look more like orange. Do you see that? Maybe like here. I think this is right. And then this color called Radiant Chaos. So we got Chaos Bloom, Radiant Chaos. And so this set, I feel it goes really, really well together. And I'll bring that one a little bit closer. You can kind of see it. It's like an icy blue with a very similar apricot color in here that has a little bit more pink breaks in it. But I think these go really, really great together. So I'm not sure what I'll do with this set, but what it's screaming to me, it's like a cowl or something for my mom. But something not for me. Probably those are not colors I love, but I love these other ones together. Oh, I never held up all the variegateds together. Let's do that really quick. So here's the whole box together. They're so fun. They're so good. I think this is my favorite solstice I've seen. I really loved the Iceland, which is the one I missed the year before last. I thought a lot of those colors were really good, but I actually think these feel more like a set to me. Like they're really different colors, but like the inspiration of butterflies and it's so good. There was also butterflies on all of the packaging, and Theo just took the stickers off of every little bag that these were in, and she stuck them all over her arms. So she wore butterfly stickers for like an hour until they all fell off and just all over my carpet. But it was really cute. Okay, so I do know some of the pairs were like a pair, and I think these were a pair, but then I think maybe this was the pair and this was a pair. I'm not really sure. What pair, I know one of them didn't make sense to me, and like this makes more sense to me. They're so fun though. They look really great. Yeah, they look great. This is really fun. Okay, here's what my plan is. I'm not 100% sold on the variegated, what I'm going to do with them. But my current thought is that I think this is a great contender for a Grove shawl. You only need 4 skeins of Rockies. It was designed for like maybe the year before the Iceland box. Maybe it was the Iceland box. But to do a shawl, and I think it's gorgeous. It's a really fun thing to make, and I think that this would be a really fun set and way to do those. This is going to be a stripe pipe. I think I'm settled on the stripe pipe because I do own that pattern. I've had it for a while, and I wanted to do one with fun, bright colors, but I just like had never settled on the ones that I want. So Sylvan and Katie, we had talked about, we're all like, oh my gosh, stripy sweaters or some kind of color work sweater or something with like holding with like an undyed or white. This yarn is available from Wool to Die For. I think it's, I don't remember what it's called, Crazy 8 maybe, is like the base. And so we got a cone of it. Well, Sylvan and Katie are amazing, and they jumped and got the cone early, but we had talked about like, oh, we just need some undyed. And they got a cone, so a kilo. So I think that gives all of us, you know, 3.5 or, you know, just under 3.5 skeins that we could have from it. I'm hoping that's enough. That's what I'll need. If not, I can just get like 1 extra skein. People have undyed Rockies around, so I can get an extra skein if I need to, but I think we'll be okay. And so I need to wind some off once we meet up again in January, and I don't know if I'll start it right away, but I'm kind of excited. I think that I would really love to have this for like the springtime, because that would be epically fun. It's just, their colors are so good. I do not know the order I want to do. I do know I won't put this on the body. So a stripe pipe has 3 colors, and I think I might do like this or the opposite. I love this color, so like maybe I want that one highest, but I love the green too. Like, this is also pretty fun. Honestly, I have a lot of like blues and not tons of this color purple. This is a really fun purple. I think the 2 colors I would most likely to buy again when we see this collection, hopefully in the spring or sometime next year, are these 2 colors. And like this color, I know I have a green t-shirt, but I want 8 in this color. Like, this is something else. Like, it looks good on me. It's super saturated. It's really pretty. So we'll see. We may see more of this. But in my thoughts for the coming year, as I'm doing some project planning and stuff, I do want to allow myself to cast on some brand new things I get, so they won't sit in stash, but I will get to have them and enjoy them right away. And so this may be one of those that I just cast on because I want to have it. And even this, I might just use this up really fast because I don't have any other really, a couple of small shawl plans for this year, but I would love to use these up in something fun and have like this magical, I could wear a sweater and then this is a shawl and it would be so good. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say of the Butterfly Effect box from EKF. I am glad I got that one. It was actually it was really fun to open it all at once, but it was a nice mystery this year. Good surprise for me. I didn't do any other kind of advents, and I'm thinking about it for next year because you have to decide so early in the year for so many of them. It's like April. One that I've seen, so there is a person who comes to our knit nights and watches the podcast, Jennifer, and she's doing the Mila with me. So if you've seen on Instagram, she's posting sometimes, and her progress pictures, but she did the woolens, I think it's woolens and nosh, advent sock, and that is the one that I think I want to do like next year. I may also still just do EKF because I love it, but I'd like to do a fiber mystery, but then I'm like not sure because it's not actually that much fiber you get, so I don't know if I would like, it's not like I need to have a plan for that, but I don't know if I would do something like that. But like the self-striping sock that's like 24 colors and you do a little bit every day, and I think you're supposed to like keep it in the bag so it's a mystery, and there's colors in between so you don't know the next day because you just get to like the main color. That would be so fun. I feel like it would be the most fun thing. So yeah, that's a definite possibility for next year if I like remember that. Whenever somebody knows, well, I can just ask Jennifer, but like when does Woolens and Nosh do their advent things? So I just like put it in the calendar to start looking then, because I always miss them. All right. Well, I hope that everybody had a lovely holiday if you celebrate, that you got some time with friends and family and, I don't know, good goodies. Mike and I didn't do presents this year. We got a couple little things from our parents, and Theo picked out some hair stuff for me with my mom, which is very cute, like some hair ties and some other things. But we decided not to do presents. We often don't do presents because we buy the things that we want when we want them. And we both spend a lot on our hobbies, so we don't like just want extra stuff. And also we planned to do a pretty big home project this year. So that's what we shook hands on it this year and decided to do something a little bit, more special for us to enjoy as a home project instead of buying just little stuff for each other. But I hope you got some good presents if that's what you do with your friends and family. If you make things for them, I hope they enjoyed it and they loved every moment of it. Giving those socks out was actually a real highlight. I was a little bit nervous, but it was really fun and everybody loved them. And yeah, I'm not something I will do like right away, but I am thinking next year, this is crazy, but I would really love to make some sweaters for my nieces next year. And they're all still pretty small, so that sounds fun. My nephew, I will make something for him, but he just like growing so fast. Like he's like the weed of the family. Like he's getting tall, he's getting big. So I was like also talking to his mom, she was like, yeah, but just make it and then I'll be able to fit into it. I was like, you're right. But I maybe we'll do like a vest or something for him, if that's something she would wear too. So we'll put our heads together. But yeah, I'm excited to get some planning done. And I have to catch up. That's actually the only thing I have to do this week is I did not put my solstice in my yarn tracker yet. And I need to get the rest of my finished projects into the yarn tracker. So I have all my stats done for you for next year. But I did think about my plan the other day. Mike and I were like looking at calendars and stuff for my time off and for like he's still gonna be working and stuff. And I think my plan for filming then is that I'm gonna film on the 1st next week because we don't have we have like some small like morning plans to do again. But and I think what I'll do is I'll be able to share anything I finished. So you'll see what I truly finished on the 31st. But I'm not going to do my flat lay until the 2nd. And I may actually do it over a couple of days, but it won't be done until the 2nd. So I will likely not do stats on the 1st. I will instead do some fun recap stuff and I'll go over goals for 2025 and 2026. And then I'll do stats and numbers the week after. And then I'll do my tier ranking video, which is what I think I still want to do as my like recap for the whole year. Sometime also in that like week, the first week of the year. We'll see how I'm feeling about everything. Because maybe it'll be that weekend. We'll see. I probably won't publish it until like Tuesday or something. So that's my plan. We'll see how everything goes. If we can all stay healthy, knock on, wood or whatever. But yes, anyway, I hope that you had a really nice holiday. I hope that you get some more relaxing in if that's in the cards for you. And that you can hang out with me next week during some of those fun episodes. If you have any last minute suggestions, I haven't filmed anything yet, let me know for end of year stuff. Otherwise, I will just do some planning while I can during the week next week to get all ready for it. As always, thanks for watching and hanging out with me. I hope you got some great crafting time in. Make sure you stretch, move your bodies if you can. Try to stay healthy out there, everybody. And I'll talk to you next week.